The question of euthanasia touches upon the deepest tensions between human compassion, autonomy, and the mysterious journey of the soul beyond physical existence. At its surface, euthanasia is a medical and ethical dilemma about whether to permit or hasten death in the face of unbearable suffering. Yet beneath this pragmatic layer lies a far more profound inquiry into the nature of life and death, the boundaries of human agency, and what happens to the essence of a person when the body ceases to function. The ethics of euthanasia cannot be disentangled from spiritual considerations about the soul's journey, whether life and death are mere biological phenomena or parts of a sacred continuum extending beyond the visible world. Euthanasia, derived from the Greek words meaning good death, carries with it a paradox. What is a good death? Is it one free of pain and indignity, chosen freely and embraced with dignity? Or is it a violation of natural order, a premature ending to a sacred process that must unfold in its own time? Modern societies grapple with this question amid advances in medical technology that can prolong life indefinitely but cannot always relieve suffering. This tension has led to deeply divided views, often shaped by cultural, religious, and philosophical traditions that interpret the meaning of death, and the soul's destiny, in divergent ways. In many spiritual traditions, life is more than a biological state. It is a sacred trust, a pilgrimage of the soul through temporal existence toward an ultimate destiny. The body is seen as a vessel or garment for the soul, which itself is eternal or cyclically reborn. To intervene in this process, to deliberately end life, raises profound concerns about interfering with the soul's unfolding and the karmic or spiritual lessons embedded in suffering and dying. Pain and suffering are sometimes understood not merely as misfortunes but as transformative experiences that refine the soul, test character, or catalyze spiritual awakening. From this perspective, euthanasia might be viewed as an interruption, a truncation of a necessary phase in the soul's evolution. Conversely, other spiritual and philosophical frameworks emphasize compassion and the alleviation of suffering as paramount moral goods. The intentional act of ending suffering through euthanasia can be seen as a merciful release, an act of love that honors human dignity and autonomy. In this view, respecting a person's choice to die peacefully can align with spiritual principles of kindness, freedom, and respect for the individual's path. It invites a re-examination of what it means to suffer spiritually, whether physical agony is inherently meaningful or whether unnecessary suffering serves no higher purpose and can be compassionately ended. Ethically, the question hinges on autonomy, consent, and the nature of moral responsibility. Does a person possess the sovereign right to determine the time and manner of their death? Is the soul's journey an immutable cosmic decree, or is there room for agency within it? The tension between fate and free will emerges starkly. For some, euthanasia challenges the sanctity of life, positing that only a divine or natural order can decide when life ends. For others, it affirms human dignity by allowing conscious choice in the face of suffering that cannot be remedied. Modern medical ethics wrestles with these issues in the context of advanced life support technologies, palliative care, and legal frameworks. The rise of euthanasia debates often coincides with the increasing ability to prolong life beyond natural limits, raising questions about quality versus quantity of life, and about what constitutes a life worth living. The refusal of extraordinary measures, the withdrawal of life-sustaining treatment, and active euthanasia each carry different ethical weight but share the common concern about respect for the dying person's wishes and well-being. Spiritually, the process of dying is sometimes conceived as a sacred rite of passage, a liminal threshold where the soul disentangles from the physical, encounters judgment or transition, and embarks on its next phase. Rituals, prayers, and the presence of compassionate caregivers are thought to ease this journey, providing comfort and spiritual support. Intervening medically to hasten death raises questions about how such interventions affect the soul's transition. Is the soul ready to leave, or might a premature death cause disorientation or spiritual disruption? The uncertainty surrounding the afterlife and the soul's path lends gravity and mystery to these decisions. Historical perspectives reveal varying attitudes toward euthanasia and the soul's journey. Ancient cultures often had elaborate rituals for the dying, recognizing death as both an end and a beginning. Some early philosophical traditions, like Stoicism, viewed death as a natural, unavoidable part of life, neither to be feared nor hastened unnecessarily, advocating for acceptance and virtue in facing mortality. Religious doctrines have at times condemned or tolerated euthanasia according to their understanding of divine law and the soul's destiny. In modern times, secular ethics increasingly prioritize individual rights and quality of life, challenging traditional religious views. The soul's journey, often seen as beyond human comprehension, reminds us that death may not be an event but a passage. If the soul is indeed immortal or undergoes transformation beyond this life, then the timing and manner of bodily death might be only one aspect of a much broader process. Yet the very mystery of what lies beyond death fuels both hope and fear, compassion and caution. Those who advocate for euthanasia emphasize the alleviation of suffering and the respect for personal dignity, while those who oppose it underscore the sanctity of life and the inviolability of the soul's sacred journey. Ultimately, the ethics of euthanasia compel us to confront the paradoxes of existence, the desire to escape pain and the imperative to honor life, the yearning for control and the acceptance of mystery, the individual's right to choose and the collective values that bind communities. It is a question that reaches beyond laws and medicine into the realm of spirituality, where each culture, tradition, and individual must wrestle with what it means to die well, to face the unknown, and to honor the soul's path through suffering and beyond, in this delicate balance between mercy and reverence. Between autonomy and mystery, the discourse on euthanasia remains one of humanity's most profound ethical and spiritual challenges, a mirror reflecting our deepest fears, hopes, and beliefs about what it means to be truly alive and truly free in the face of death.